Critical thinking and research often go together as integral processes. It is important for research students to develop critical thinking skills in order to become better researchers. Now, how is the process of critical thinking and research um, linked with each other? Generally, research is a process of asking questions such as the what, why, how, and the so what of natural and social phenomena. And critical thinking is also a process that is aimed at finding answers to the what, the why, the how, and the so what of um, questions, the so what questions related to natural and social phenomena. So, the process of research, therefore, needs to have critical thinking as an essential component. Now, why is it important, or like what is the general process through which the critical thinking skills of research students can be developed? There are certain aspects that we need to take into consideration in order to develop the critical thinking skills of research students. The first one is the aspects that are related to the institution, the research institution or the university. So generally the institutional environment or the university environment is something that can play a big role in the development or otherwise of the critical thinking skills of students. Generally, the course content and the delivery of the course that is generally a part of many research programs. It is important for the course content and the delivery of the course content that both of these have critical thinking as essential component. Once we have critical thinking as component of the course content and the delivery or the curriculum implementation process, that will um, that will help students in developing awareness related to the importance of critical thinking. Secondly, the research supervisor's role is very important. Generally, the knowledge, skills, and disposition of the research supervisor related to the content and delivery of critical thinking is something that is that will be of high importance in terms of developing the critical thinking of the research students. A supervisor who has the requisite knowledge and skills and dispositions as critical thinker is likely to try to develop those skills in the students, the research students. Thirdly, and most importantly, the role of the research student is very important. The research student need to um, have the scholarly aptitude to go into the depth of things through intensive and extensive reading. So generally students who read a lot, who read sufficiently and who read critically um, and who read intensively and extensively are the ones who will develop as critical thinkers, and so that critical thinking will be reflected in their writing as well. That writing will involve a lot of reflection, critical reflection, objective analysis, um, and and critical analysis of the material that these research students generally will study. So a good deal of um, reading, intensive and extensive reading, is something that will help develop the critical thinking of the research students, because they will have exposure to multiple perspectives related to a particular topic, and so their viewpoints or their opinions will be informed rather than subjective, so there will be more objectivity. Further, critical thinking of research students could also be developed by their involvement in academic discussions inside and outside their educational institutions, taking part in seminars, And also there needs to be sufficient academic freedom in terms of discussing ideas and concepts in an open environment. That is something that will help in the development of critical thinking. Lastly, participation in academic activities, in conferences and seminars, involvement in collaboration with researchers, with researchers from other backgrounds or from other institutions, is something that will give research students an exposure and a knowledge base that will help them in becoming critical thinkers in terms of questioning their own positionality as researchers, and in terms of developing a more scientific and objective outlook on the research issues and topics in which they are actually working.